In this tier list, we've got popular Amazon brands, Herman Miller, and STEELCASE chairs, and of course, the CXO like we promised. Let's get into it.
Herman Miller, right off the bat.
MIRRA 2.
Initial vibes. Herman Miller chair, super high-end build, great warranty. In my opinion, a slightly better version functionality-wise than the Aeron, because you get one extra arm adjustment, more adjustable lumbar, and the flex front to give you seat depth adjustment, which
Kind of, yeah.
the Aeron doesn't really have.
Yeah.
Not quite the same build as the Aeron, though. I have a hard time with this one because I'm kind of torn between A and B. I kind of want to put it in A. I think it's a more comfortable version of the Aeron, and that's where we had the Aeron. But in terms of build quality, it's probably not the Aeron.
Well, I mean, right now I think it's like almost $1,400.
That too.
So for $1,400, I personally don't think the seat's as comfortable as the Aeron. I don't like mesh seats. So I would go B tier with this one for me. I think that's fair.
I can see that. Just because of the value proposition.
Oh, this is a surprise I put on there for you. This is the POFIT.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Well, that's how they have it written on the chair.
Hit us with those thoughts, Joe.
The immediate impact of the mesh is it just feels low quality. Both the back and the seat mesh are kind of weird.
Does it feel like it's pulling your shirt up in the back?
It does a little bit. For those that don't want to show some skin on your back at work, this might not be the right chair for you.
I want to let you know, Joe, that's the bionic spine technology you're working with right there.
Yeah, it feels weird. It's definitely a different feel. The recline, honestly, isn't as bad as I thought it would be, but it's still, I mean, it's not up to par with a Herman Miller chair. I don't know how much this chair costs, but
$1,000.
yeah, I wouldn't spend $1,000 on this chair. There's a lot better options.
This actually is from Comfort Seating, the manufacturer of the ErgoHuman. This was supposed to be their next best chair from the ErgoHuman. I'd say the ErgoHuman's still their best chair, so same thing with this one. I mean, all day with this C tier. I mean, I might even put it as a D tier.
Yeah. Do you remember when we saw this at the show and the guy made us watch that like 5-minute video on how this chair was the next revolution in office furniture, and then we both sat in it. We were like, this chair is not comfortable.
Yeah.
Not a super good build, but the comfort is not great. I mean, if it was somewhat comfortable, it'd be in C tier, but it's not. And so it has to be B tier, especially for the price. $1,000 for a chair that's not comfortable with a medium build quality, to me, that's just straight to D tier.
There it is.
This looks like the STEELCASE Leap Work Lounge.
Definitely super high end. It's $3,500 as it's configured today with the leather upholstery. I mean, $3,500, Joe. Do you see the value?
I don't see $3,500 value. I mean, it seems like a chair that you kind of buy to show off because it's leather, but for $3,500, I definitely would pick the standard Leap over this one.
It's made for zero tasking, I think. I mean, the arms aren't height adjustable. I mean, it's like you said, it's great for in an executive's office if he's not doing any tasking.
Isn't this the answer to the Eames? It's a little bit more function than the Eames chair, but I mean, it's not something that I would pull up to a desk that I'm tasking at. If you have a ton of money and want something super high quality that you're going to use, you know, maybe an hour or two at a time or a day, then it's a phenomenal chair. But for most of the population, it's completely unpractical.
Statement piece. But here we go, big rig.
If I was to rate it for what it is, I would have no problem putting it here. But if we're going to rank it among functions and comfort while tasking, it's going to slide down.
Well, you just to put in perspective, you could get an EMEA, a Gesture, and a Leap, all A tier chairs, or that chair. I'm going to go F tier for office chair use. I'll go C tier for just straight up because of what it is. You can't use it at your desk if you...
But that's not what it's made for, and that's the problem.
But that's the list it's in.
Sorry about this STEELCASE. Problem is the next chair is $200.
Yeah.
So it's going to be above that. So moving on to the CLATINA MELLET. I had no idea from looking at the pictures that this is a direct Leap knockoff from literally the entire build. It's got the same casters. It's got a cylinder from the same manufacturer that makes STEELCASE's cylinder, same Hangzhou. It's got the exact same back bar design.
Without question, we just brought in, I don't know, what'd you buy, 15
like 20 chairs.
Yeah, so, and that's by far the best of the bunch. When we think about $200, it's a C tier chair just from what it is. I mean, it could maybe be B tier. I'd have to spend some more time in it, but I say it's a C tier
I've sat in it a decent amount. Build quality and just overall, I would put it D tier, but it is a pretty comfortable chair. And being that they copied a lot of stuff on the Leap, it has 5-position tilt limiter, which I've never seen on a $200 chair. It literally has the same knob as the STEELCASE Leap.
Yeah.
It's incredible that they were
With the
able
mesh
to
back.
copy it. Right. So
Joe, what do you think? You've spent some time in it.
Of all the chairs, like under even $300, I would push it up to. This is probably the most comfortable.
and it's comfortable enough for me, and it's cheap enough for me to boost it.
You want to put it at a D tier, but I think
Right.
a C tier is.
I think C tier is fair.
What was the warranty on it?
I believe it was 2 years.
Joe, what do you think? C tier?
I'd rather have
Yeah, I
the
would say
Herman
C tier.
Yeah, of course you would. This is a very important chair for the list.
The HAWORTH very.
Joe?
Featuring some different casters, I believe, which is makes it a little more fun.
The rollerblade.
Yeah, it's got the little bit.
But outside of that, I do like this chair. It's not my first choice, like I said, but it's a nice middle ground chair that is worth it if you could maybe sit in it first before you buy it. Either a high C or a low B.
I mean, I think that's a pretty fair rating. I tend to lean closer to B than C on the very, just because it does have a really unique mechanism, giving you kind of 2 modes to sit, which is pretty cool. And it also has the independent lumbar depth adjustment feature, which is really unique. I don't love the seat. I don't love the way that the waterfall is designed.
It's very flat and it's thin.
It is.
And it's, I mean, I didn't like the backrest. Compared to the Soji, I just can't see justifying the price difference between those two chairs unless you're looking for maybe some of those, like it has forward seat tilt.
I actually just finished shooting a video on the very. The very doesn't have forward seat tilt. It has flat seat and then reclined seat. And because you start out in the reclined seat, when you flip it to flat seat, it makes you think you're in forward tilt. I think it's a little bit better than the Soji.
It's $800.
I personally have a hard time putting it in C. I can tell that's where Greg wants it, but I'd put it in B.
Let's break the tie with Joe. He's our expert.
Hit it, Joe.
What did I said BC. You guys are just
Yep.
making me have to pick. I pick a C.
Overruled. Down to the C tier for the very. Herman Miller LINO.
What was an affordable chair not that long ago is recently we found out it can be as much as, what, $950?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. What is the one we have?
It's like $750, and we don't have it fully loaded because I wasn't able to add the seat depth option with the fabric I chose.
It is one of the most frustrating chairs to buy on the Herman Miller site because there's
100%.
so many weird combinations of colors.
Right. If you go with the green chair, you can get seat depth adjustment, lumbar adjustment, but if you switch to the blue chair, then you can't
Yeah.
get the lumbar or the seat. It's so strange. The options are dictated by what color you pick. For me, it's just straight to C tier. If the Very is in a C tier, the LINO is a C tier chair too. It's a well-built chair, a little overpriced in my opinion. I like the backrest comfort. The seat is super firm.
When I think of Herman Miller, I always just think I'm going to be blown away by design. I think it's just going to be a wow factor, which is part of the price. And when I see a LINO chair, I just see another chair. So I'm not very impressed from that standpoint. I agree with your take on the seat, the back. What do you think, Joe?
This is the Herman Miller chair, so I love the recline, which is a benefit you're going to get from pretty much every Herman Miller chair. But the seat is kind of stiff for me, and like if I'm going to buy a Herman Miller chair, I want it to look kind of cool or different.
Yeah.
This one doesn't really have that for me, so. And the seat is pretty stiff, and it looks like it's kind of misleading because it looks like it wouldn't be stiff, but it is pretty stiff. I give it a C.
Perfect spot. HUMANSCALE, the Differient World chair. Literally the only mesh seat chair that I like and can sit in, but it's very specific because you have to be narrow enough to fit in the chair because the chair is small and it has really pronounced edges around the frame. So while I like the back support and I do like the seat, the recline function's not great and it's a very expensive chair.
$1,000.
Comfort-wise, it would be B tier. But I don't love HUMANSCALE's warranty because of the fact that they limit certain parts of the chair. I could see it coming down to C, and if you really think it's uncomfortable and can't use it, like I suspect a lot of people, I could see it slipping all the way to D.
I always go all the way down to the mechanism, so the mesh stretches to the mech, and I can't sit in it because of that. And that's nothing I would expect from a $1,000 chair. So, but I go D. If you're a guy my size, there's a good chance you're going to have the same thing happen, so it's probably not usable.
I would give it a somewhere between C and D as well.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of HUMANSCALE in general. I don't like the recline. I feel like it's weird.
The biggest reason why I can't use the chair is because it's super loud. It's like every other HUMANSCALE chair except for maybe the Differient Smart, but it's super creaky and just makes a ton of noise. And even when you're in your office by yourself, it's annoying. And I literally forgot about that aspect of the chair until I heard Joe in it because I can hear him over there creaking the chair. Yeah, we're just gonna put this right into the D tier.
It looks good.
It looks good, and that's where it ends.
This is the big papa, the BTC.
Greg and I don't have a ton of experience in this chair because, as you can see, the chair is massive and neither of us can fit completely in it. We have sat in it.
It's just so big, and the depth of it with the pillow top, it actually hits against the back of my calves.
It's such a big chair that I can't even get enough leverage to recline it. Like, you need to be so big and so tall to give yourself enough leverage to even use the recline.
What the sales guy said is they have people 230 and 5'10 getting this chair and loving it.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely loving it. I mean, it's padded everywhere.
Yes. It's definitely the most cush chair we've ever seen.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's $2,500 to $2,600 with that headrest, though.
So for me, I had to jump into the chair to fit into it. I could have used like a stool or something. I'm 5'8", and I'm at the lowest level right now. And sitting all the way back, my feet aren't flat on the ground.
What are those you're wearing today?
Jordan Retro 3 Chicago. But
Wow.
regardless, chair is too big for someone that's like under 5'10".
It is a specific big and tall 24/7 chair. So you really need to be big and tall to use it. And if you are, it's going to be one of the most comfortable chairs you can find.
Yeah.
For what it is and what you're getting, for me, it's an A-tier chair.
I mean, it has seat depth, back angle, seat angle adjust. I mean, it has a boatload of adjustments on it. It's got the pump action lumbar. You got that, Joe, back there? You pump it up
I'm
quick?
trying.
The leather is super soft. It's a really high-end, soft,
Yeah.
comfortable leather.
I don't fit in it.
Well, you're not big and tall. It's
true. Thank you.
Sense. To the moment you've all been waiting for, the
Night-
Nightingale CXO. We've had a CXO since 2009, and I've sat in that chair since we got it. I loved it for many, many years, and the reason I decided to start to go away from it is because I started to get lower back pain, so I realized it was because of the memory foam seat. For me, it's good for my home office desk, where I'm not in it for 8 hours a day, 1-2 hours at a time. I find it to be super comfortable, but I use a Leap in the office. From a pure comfort standpoint, you could argue that it's A tier because it's going to be A tier comfort for a lot of people just because the seat is so comfortable. I find the backrest to be comfortable. The arms aren't great. Build quality, I think it's probably B tier. Would you consider it on the same build quality as like an Embody or an Aeron or a Leap?
No, I'd say B tier. One of the things that I want to talk about with this chair is that they changed the headrest design, which for me, being 6 feet tall, I can't use the headrest. It hits me in the shoulders. If you're my height, want a headrest, I would not get this chair. If you're shorter than me, then it might work. The armrests, like you said, are just really firm. I don't think they're very intuitive either. They've got multiple buttons to do multiple adjustments. I don't love that. But the seat is super padded, Enersorb foam or whatever they call it. But remember what Ryan said. I mean, he sat in it for a long time. Feels good at first. Just be cautious long term. Lumbar-wise, it's decent. It's different enough that it could work. But again, it's $1,400. There's other options.
Another Herman Miller.
The Celle.
Robert sits in the chair.
What is
Robert
that?
loves
What is
it.
that sound?
Yeah, what was that?
Recline.
What?
Comes and goes.
Comes and goes.
Robert trying to justify his chair.
I didn't expect that.
Yeah, me neither. This is the first time I've heard a Herman Miller chair make a noise. So thoughts, Joe?
I mean, what does
The
it
seat is
cost?
firm. The recline is decent. I sit in a Celle every day, and I would prefer that to this chair for sure. But it's just the polyback's a little rough for me. I don't really see a lot of benefit coming from it. But the recline is good. It's Herman Miller.
It's the first chair in the Herman Miller lineup that you get into their auto harmonic tilt mechanism, which is like the Aeron Embody MIRRA recline, which is super high end. And so this is the least expensive chair that you can get that in. I do like the arm pads. They're soft, probably right there with the Aeron and MIRRA 2 in terms of softness and comfort. Didn't love the backrest. Like the seat though. It's more on the firm side, but I do like the padded seat from Herman Miller more than the mesh seat. on
All I can
Aeron.
hear is him
Right, I
rocking
can't
it.
ignore that
I
rocking.
can't. All I can hear is this squeaking sound, and I'm thinking it's probably because Robert, he broke it.
I mean, did you break it?
It's not broken.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's a decent overall chair, a good mid-range chair. I
I'd
think
go-
C is a very
yeah.
fair rating.
I'd go B or C. I know Robert is dying inside right now that it's not an A tier.
I mean, in terms of like the quality and the functions that you can get with the high-end mechanism, I could easily see it going to B, to be
Yeah.
honest, because
Yeah.
it's just a slightly different version than the MIRRA 2.
It's better than the LINO.
It is better than the LINO, and I think it's better than the Very. Yeah, let's just change our mind. We're going to put it right here.
Yeah. Oh boy, the Nightingale IC2. I gotta be honest with this chair. When I saw it at NeoCon for the first time, I thought it was gonna be an excellent chair, and then now we have it.
Not so much.
No.
Why is it not so much for you?
I mean, well, I just think it's super expensive, first of all. I mean, it's very expensive. It looks really good. It's just uncomfortable. I mean, the seat's uncomfortable. The back is okay. The headrest doesn't fit again. It's much like the CXO, very similar design there. I could see this chair without a headrest in your conference room just looking tens.
So the two deal breakers for me with this chair, one was the arm caps. They're really firm like the CXO, but for some reason they went with like a concave design on them, which puts a hard edge around the entire arm cap, which means anytime that your arm is not positioned exactly straight forward on the arm cap, you're cutting off your circulation. You're in this uncomfortable position. And then the second reason why I can't use the chair is that it's in a permanent recline all the time. You cannot sit straight up. You're always sitting like this.
It's super expensive, but it looks, I mean, it's probably the most polished chair when it comes to looks, aesthetics wise.
Yeah.
So I would say D tier.
I mean, build quality wise, it's definitely like B tier.
B tier for sure, but for the price,
But if you can't sit in it comfortably
Can't
and it's
sit.
expensive, then you're going to D tier.
There
I
you
guess
go.
it's a lot like the Different world.
yeah. OM seating, a firm chair.
Initial vibes is probably just straight to C tier. It doesn't have the build quality or the comfort to make it to B tier, but it has enough customizability, enough adjustability, and I do think that the backrest is comfortable enough for it to be a C tier chair. I'd rather sit in this chair than the CLATINA MELLET.
Yeah, for $500 to $600, you can get this thing pretty much fully loaded with everything that you want. So from the prices where we're at today, I think it's a pretty decent value. Personally, I would sit in this over the other two chairs in there for me, which are the LINO and the Very chair, and it's about $200 to $300 less, but the warranty's not even close. Joe's in it. I mean, what do you think of that seat? It sits firm. I like firm seat pads.
It's a pretty comfortable seat for the chair that it is. It's a big seat.
It's
like,
big.
It's
Yeah, it's
big.
a bigger
yeah,
chair.
it's definitely a big seat. I'm not crazy about the back or the backrest or recline in general, but the seat is probably up there for comfort, I think, in that C tier.
If you get one of the higher end mechs, you get a ton of adjustments. That backrest moves up and down. You know, you can get arms that are super adjustable, but we know with OM seating arms, they just make a lot of sounds. They flop around. They're not super stiff, you know, where the connection is because they're so adjustable and customizable. $500 to $600 though, it's really hard right now to find a chair that customizable. So C
sure.
tiers seems safe.
Yeah, it's a good option for the price, definitely.
So that's the Omega.
Secret Lab Omega. I hate this chair. There's absolutely nothing that I like about this chair. The seat is as hard as a concrete slab. The armrests aren't great. It's got the full racing car design where you're locked into this one position. You're sacrificing comfort for safety when you don't need safety because you're sitting in an office. The strap pillow design,
Is from cheaper chairs.
Yeah.
If you're going to get a Secret Lab chair, I think you get the Titan.
100%.
And I wouldn't even think about getting the Omega.
No, the Titan's only like $100 more, and it's in a different stratosphere of literally every gaming chair we've ever seen, and it's because it's the closest gaming chair that's ever been made like an office chair.
I don't really see any benefits to this chair versus any of the chairs because there's not very many adjustments and it's just uncomfortable. I guess the pillows are kind of cool and soft, but like
And
outside
laying
of
back,
that,
you like laying back?
yeah,
in it?
laying back if you're gonna like sleep in your chair, I guess this could do it, but you're still gonna have a sore butt from sitting on it. So
It's an F tier chair, especially because I believe it's like between $400 and $450, and for me it's completely unusable. I couldn't sit in this chair for more than a half an hour.
I can see people liking it more. I could see it being a D tier, but I get what he's saying with the F tier because I can't sit in it either. Joe, would you sit in that?
no,
Okay.
F tier.
All right. Would you see what we got here? I keep trying to use that and it's not working.
No one understands the joke because no one understands it's a Sihu brand chair.
Here's the Sihu.
Sihu has a bunch of chairs that they sell, but they call every chair the Sihu ergonomic chair. We just bought their most popular one, which was $299.99. Give us your quick opinion on that chair,
Oh,
Joe.
I do not like this at all. The seat is like very firm. It's almost as bad as the Omega. If you've sat in it for a long time and you love it, I apologize. But if I was at a store with 20 chairs, this would be probably number 20 on the list because it's just uncomfortable.
Pro tip, you can save $100 and get the exact same chair.
What is it called?
The Giantex. Also sold on Amazon with free shipping, $100 less. Because of that reason alone, F tier, paying an extra $100 just to have Sihu brand, which no one has ever heard of.
Joe, would you think that was a better value at 200?
No, I don't even know what's like.
No. It seemed like it was decently built, but the seat is so hard That was the first thing you notice when you sit in it. It is a rock. So we're in an F tier. I would have put it at D tier. I don't even know why.
If
I just
this was
feel
the
bad.
Giantex, I'd put it in the D tier.
Yeah, there you go.
But since there's the exact chair that exists for $100 less, the See Who's F tier.
Boom. STEELCASE Series 2.
You coming out of the gate hot with this one?
Yeah, pricing on it's now almost $800 with the headrest. Everybody here knows, well, if you've watched the other videos, that the EMEA is the most underrated chair on the planet. So for that price, you can get an EMEA.
Straight to C tier. It's got some good components. Obviously, it's STEELCASE, so it's well built, great warranty, 14-day return policy, the whole shebang. I don't love the headrest, but it's a lot better than the Leap headrest. The biggest problem with the chair is that in order to keep the price down, they had to go with the Series 1 mech. And you're getting a really low-end mech. The recline's pretty terrible. The way that the tension works is almost useless. And so for that reason, I can't use the chair. That and the seat being really, really firm.
I'm taking this over. And I'm moving it. It's in the middle of the C. I think this is the least comfortable seat. We're talking about their ergonomic chairs. Series 1, Series 2, EMEA.
The lumbar support is some of the most aggressive lumbar support out there, even more so than the Leap fully dialed in. It's just not a very comfortable chair for me, and I'd go with any of the other STEELCASE chairs.
This is crazy. I mean, we love STEELCASE. We've got a F tier STEELCASE and a C tier STEELCASE in this one, so didn't see that coming.
Make sure to leave us a comment. Let us know if there's a chair that you want to see ranked, or maybe a specific list you want to see us do, brands, comfort, whatever it is. Thanks a lot for watching.